The introduction. This young adult novel was established due to the lack of resources found in clothing construction and craft. Therefore, we decided to create one. My partner Anthony and I thought that it would be not only exciting but extremely useful to have sewing terminologies and techniques integrated within the novel that can also be a useful tool moving forward as educators within the discipline of family and consumer science education. We had so much fun putting this together, and we hope that you enjoy. Without further ado, welcome to Girl on a Hill. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Chapter 1. Knitting Her Way Through. High in the north of Andros lies a settlement called Nicholstown, where you will find a one-of-a-kind sewing store named FCS Design. The store was run by Miss Lou, who was 5 feet tall with mango skin, low-cut hair because it always seemed to get damaged, and a huge bust that caused her to hunch over when she walked. Everyone loved Miss Lou, especially her daughter Letonia. Unlike her mother, her frame was quite the opposite. She stood at 6 feet tall, melanin complexion, small bust, long, beautiful legs, and even longer hair that reached below her buttocks. Latonia loved her hair, which came from her father's Asian side of the family. The people in the community would always tell her, "Thank God for your pa, 'cause, child, your ma hair stay picky all her life." With growing up, having a mother as a seamstress, Latonia had no choice but to learn sewing and the many notions used in creating a garment. From the age of 4, Miss Lowe, her mother, would say, "Gal, bring them pins here and don't take long, else I can stick you in your hip." With watching her mother, she learned that the pins were used to hold two or more pieces of fabric together. She would watch her mom using the sewing machine that would permanently stitch the clothing together, and if Miss Lowe would make any mistake, she would call Latonia saying, "Gal, come get the seam ripper and take them bad boy lines out." One day, Miss Lowe called Latonia saying, "Come here, let me show you how to cut fabric with the cutting shears." She instructed her to place her left hand flat onto the fabric whilst using her right hand to make long, wide strokes. Day after day, Miss Lowe would call out to Latonia. Once she heard, "Gal, come here," she knew it was sewing time and would run to her mother with excitement. By the time Latonia was 18, she was well and able seamstress of her own. I was always at arm's length within the store assisting her mother with every and anything that needed to be done, from sewing pockets to embroidery, body measurements, crochet, patchwork, ruffles, control methods of fitness. Latonia could do it all. Although she loved sewing with her mother, she always wished she could be like the normal children within her community. However, her mother always needed her help due to never-ending climax of her business. This also made Miss Lowe very strict and unfair to Latonia by denying her request to go out with her friends from school. Because her mother was unfair, Latonia turned bitter towards sewing. Nevertheless, she loved it regardless, and her favorite sewing technique was knitting. She loved it so much that she started her business making scarves and blankets for the entire island. Her best friend Akiva asked her one day, "How do you knit, Lily?" as she affectionately called her. She responded saying, "It's best I show you. I will sneak out after Mummy goes to bed and teach you. If you wish, you can assist me with my business. We'll be unstoppable." Later that night, Latonia gathered 5-inch knitting needles and a ball of yellow yarn, which was Akiva's favorite color. Once she got settled in Akiva's room, she explained to her that knitting helps her stay calm and less frustrated when her mother does not want to be unfair and screams at her. She then took out the supplies and told Akiva, "These are the 3 steps I want you to remember: casting on, knit stitch, and cast off." Akiva looked puzzled and said, "What?" Latonia then replied, saying, "I don't have time for your dumbness. Grab the yarn and do what I do." Akiva rolled her eyes and said, "Whatever." Latonia then instructed her on the steps whilst demonstrating. Make a slip knot by looping the yarn into a pretzel shape and leave a piece at the end that is about 3 inches long. Slip the knitting needle through the pretzel shape and pull the yarn ends to tighten. Now it's time to cast on. Drape the tail of the yarn over your left thumb and the working yarn over your left index finger. Use your other fingers to catch yarn lengths and insert the needle upward through the loop on your thumb. Akiva shouted, "Jesus, what is this?" Latonia then replied, "Stop being dramatic. Once you get the hang of it, this will be simple." She then continued on demonstrating. Akiva exhaled loudly. Hold the needle with the cast-on stitches in your left hand. Wrap the working yarn around your left index finger and hold it in the back of the left needle. Insert the point of the right needle from back to front into the first cast-on stitch on the left needle, opening up a stitch. Now, catch the working yarn with the right needle and pull the yarn through the open stitch. Slip cast-on stitch off, and the needle will be holding your middle finger against the second cast-on stitch to ensure it does not slip off. "See there?" sarcastically. "You knitted a row. Now, just flip it over, placing your end point at the bottom, and start the process all over again." Akiva was shocked. By the weekend, she had knitted a blanket for her bed.